Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to share with you a tour of my haunted mansion. Here you can see I have extremely decorated the main room of my haunted mansion. I'm going to go as slow as possible with my Joy-Cons. As you can see here, I recreated the infamous dinner scene. I realized that there was actually a cute little hidden Mickey plate, and I just thought it was so adorable. It was actually one of these plates over here, and I thought it was very interesting that there was a ghost blowing out a birthday cake. So I included the birthday cake, and the colors are even similar, and it makes me wonder, did they design this birthday cake based off of the Haunted Mansion birthday cake? Because it's wild that the colors are just that similar. So in this room, I actually designed this haunted mansion whenever we got this house skin, and I came back in recently and just added a lot more items that I've received in the last couple of months whenever the Scrooge store got a lot more items in because they expanded it. And I love these Remy windows. Originally, I didn't have, whenever I built it, these doors that are here. I didn't have the Remy windows. I didn't even have these chairs. I think that they are the Remy restaurant chairs. I'm just gonna spin it around for you. It's gonna clip into the walls a little bit, but I want you to get a good view of just the whole room in case you really like it and want to recreate it. But I just want everyone to feel inspired because I'm finding that it's really difficult to stay inspired while playing Disney Dreamlight Valley in between all of the different star paths. Decorating for me is the best way, and then I decided to film these videos to help inspire other people because I was having a hard time finding inspiration for myself. Hopefully this can help you the same way other people's videos have helped me. I'm just going to try to go as slow as possible, and then at the very end I'm going to go into each and every room and zoom out. It was really difficult to actually get the glitch of all the lighting to work, and I think all of my lights are on. I was having a problem with all of the floating candles because there were so many of them knocking out all of my candelabras. I had to go in and delete some of those floating candles so all my candles lit up. Here's a little front entrance. You'd have little settees, I suppose, in a mansion, and then these new curtains are just so amazing. I absolutely love them, and I've been using them everywhere. Right now, currently, as it stands, the curtains are glitched, so one's sticking out from the wall, and it's really funny if you haven't seen that. And then we have the dark, thorny fireplace. I have a lot of items that are premium from old Star Paths because I've had this game since a month after it was released. But let's spin it around as slow as possible. Doing a tour is not my skill set yet, but I'm working on it, and I can always refilm some of these tours as well. If anybody wants me to, just let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so this is the main space with the famous dining room scene, and then a little seating area by the fireplace, as you would expect, and a little formal seating area at the front. The first room we are going to enter is going to be this room here on the left. So in this room, I wanted to feel kind of like a formal meet and greet area that I suppose you would court somebody in. This room, whenever I was designing it, I know I saw somebody else's room that really inspired me. It was a very similar layout. I'm gonna just try to very slowly spin it. Okay, that's really fast, but I'm gonna try to go as slow as possible. And I just wanted this room to feel nice and formal. This couple over here, I wanted it to feel lively with all the mannequins in there. And I know the mannequins might be a little creepy, but you know, we just need to make these rooms feel fun and alive and as if people are actually living in this space. That couple over there, they're courting because they're not matching their outfits. And this guy over here, he's just serving everyone their tea because it's a fancy affair. And I suppose at every fancy affair, you'll always have a butler serving and taking care of the guests. And then this couple over here on the back left-hand side, I just wanted them to match because I think back in the day, couples would usually wear matching clothes, kind of similar and not unlike us going to prom whenever you match your significant other or not necessarily significant other, okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but, you know, the person, your date. So this room just kept it nice and fancy. I'm really hoping in the future we get to, oh, sorry about the clipping. Well, let's go past that kind of fast. I'm really hoping in the future that we can recolor the ceilings with the same items that you can put on the floors. I just think it's very strange we can't do that yet, but hopefully they include that. And I threw in as many floating candles as I could until it started to knock out my candelabras. And then I had to go in and delete them. And I don't know if it's a glitch issue or if it's just too many lights in the area. In this space, I wanted it to be YouTube worthy and YouTube ready. I went in and I added a lot of items that I've recently received. A couple of the new items that I just recently added to this space were this little bowl from the Aerial Bundle collection. I just don't recall the name. And I added these new plants over here because it only takes up one square, a 1x1, which is amazing. Thank goodness they gave us those plants. And then, of course, these other plants from the Aerial Bundle, I added those in because it's, again, wonderful that it is only a 1x1 plant because I was having a very difficult time with the 2x2 plants fitting into all of the nooks and crannies. You know, Animal Crossing reference. This room, it's just a nice, fancy, formal space. And at the end, I'll zoom out of this room as well, just in case it crashes, because I've had that issue. But I hope you really like this room. I hope it makes you feel inspired. And now let's go to the next room. All right, so the next room we're gonna go to is this room back here. Back in the day, whenever I was designing these spaces, as you will see, I didn't want everything to feel like a house. So for this room, I made it a fancy theater room. Everybody here in this mansion, whenever they come to visit, sometimes they host a fancy event and they will do a fancy show. So a little play is going on in this space, and I just thought it was a unique, creative way to fill this room with something that was different. And again, I didn't want every house skin to just be a house. I wanted them to be fun, unique spaces. And I did want some cohesion with the colors that I chose. I tried to make sure that I always use the same flooring and similar wallpapers and a similar color story in the spaces that are slightly different. But in all of my house skins, I really like it to be quite cohesive. And then lastly, we are going to go into the final room that I've designed. And this inspiration for this room is the Polo Ralph Lauren store that you would find, I think they call it a flagship store. And it was the one I went to in Chicago. And this mansion just made me feel like it was very ritzy, very fancy. This here, I just pulled up some images of the Polo Ralph Lauren store in Chicago. Not sponsored, which would be really cool if it was. I just went with that aesthetic. It was kind of like a dark academia. Obviously, if you've been to it, it's very English countryside, but like dark English countryside. Very expensive, very, very lovely store. Absolutely stunning the way they've designed it. It's an incredible place. If you're ever in the city, you should go to some of the flagship stores for these giant companies that have lots of money because they spared no expense whenever they designed these and build these stores. So I went with different like themes. Over in the corner here, this guy, it's more of the double R kind of Western style. And then you have your other more formal characters over here in the back. So this is kind of just like a shopping area. Those are the rooms in my mansion. I hope you like them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into each and every single space and I'm going to zoom out for you. And then hopefully if you feel inspired by this video and you want to follow along, you can change all of the colors and different pieces of furniture to make it suit the style that you're going for. So here's the room. I'm just gonna slowly turn it for anyone who wants to use this as a reference point for a layout. Because again, it's always nice whenever you don't have to reinvent the wheel, you can just recolor the wheel. We're gonna go back from whence we came. the theater room here, performing Hocus Pocus. Do a quick little zoom out of this. If anybody likes this layout and wants to go with it. It's hard to get it to stay center, huh? Again, top view of that. And then the last room, well, second to last really. The last, not main room. So one cool thing about this room is you can replace any of the items in the room, keep the layout, and just do a different theme, different colorway, and it'll give you a completely different aesthetic without having to come up with, again, a whole new layout for yourself. And trying to figure out what looks good where. You can basically just reuse any and every layout that you find and just change each individual item to one that suits the aesthetic that you're going for. And then boom, you have a whole new, amazing, incredible room. But yeah, that's what this room is. And this room, I actually had a lot of problems with the candles going out because I had so many. So I had to go and remove some of the lighting. Let's do the last room. Okay. And then the last room. This room I had to remove all of my floating candles because all of my candelabras kept blowing out. So unfortunately there are no floating candles on the ceiling because I don't think the game can handle as many candles as I had. I'm surprised it even let me put this much furniture in the room and there's not an item limit, just kidding. This is the last and final room, and I hope that this helped you feel inspired and that now if you haven't decorated this, you go and decorate it, or maybe you go and decorate another house skin with the similar layout but just different colors and different aesthetic. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your view, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any other suggestions for the future for me, let me know in the comments below, and I will work my way through recording all of my premium house skins that I have decorated so far. So thanks so much for watching.